Hello, welcome. My name is Gladys. I'm your pattern drafting teacher. In this tutorial, you'll learn how to draft a corset with plunged illusion yoke. If this is what you are interested in, let's get started. To begin, draft or trace a basic bodice to hip length without transferring the values of the dart, since the waist shaping will be done differently. Divide the center back waistline into 3 and redistribute the dart value. For a 1-inch dart, mark 1/4 each left and right on both dart lines. And that's exactly what I'm doing here. My dart intake at the back is 1 inch and I'm dividing it 1/4 inch left and right on the dart lines. This method allows me to take the round other bust measurements accurately across the pattern, missing out the center back darts. Let's move on to center front. On the neck point, measure and mark length to bust and length to other bust. Rule both lines across the pattern from center front to side front. For under bust tightening, measure half under bust measurement from center back to center front, missing out the dart. Here, I'm working with 29 inches. Half of 29 inches is 14.5 inches. So anything more than this will be used to shape the underbust. What I have left is 2 inches, marking 1/2 inch to the side front and 1/2 inch to the center front. On the side, connect with a curved ruler, and on the center front, connect with a straight ruler as shown. Mark 1 inch in on the hem at the center front, and from that point, rule a line to connect the other bust to create a basque waistline. Increase the shoulder dart 100%, marking 1/4 inch to the left and 3/4 inch to the right. That is, for a 3 inches dart, mark 1 inch towards the neckline and 2 inches towards the armhole. Connect both lines to the bust point. Measure and mark 3.5 inches above the bust point along the newly drawn dart lines left and right. Connect the center front using a few guide lines. Mark 1 inch in on the bust line, and from that point, rule the plunged neckline to a level 1 inch or 1.5 inches below the under bust. From the bust line, mark 1 inch down the neckline to complete the cup at the center front. On the side front, mark 1.5 inches in along the armhole. This totally depends on the type of corset cup. And from here, connect to the point already marked on the over bust above. Ensure to blend the cup properly to give the upper edge a good shape. To complete the cup, mark 1 inch away from the other bust curve to add a little volume to the cup. Redraw the curve to the armhole point above. Next, measure the remaining waistline. Rule a line to divide it into 2, connecting it through the underbust and the hemline. Open up a dart on the waist along the line. Mark 1/2 inch on both sides for 2 inches waist snatching effect, or 3/4 inches on both lines for 3 inches waist stitching. Connect the dart as shown. Note, ensure to cross-check the existing waist dart before further stitching of the waist. Crease and close the shoulder dart, after which blend the upper edge of the cup to give it a nice shape. At the center back bust line, mark 3/4 inch in, and from that point, rule a line to connect the slanted center back. Continue the line below the waist down the pattern. Next, measure 1.5 inches below the bust line, and from that point, connect to the armhole with a slight curve. Now, extend the dart lines to the lower bust line. Mark 1/4 inch left and right both dart lines to further tighten the over bust. Mark 1 inch below the base of the back neckline. Draw the back keyhole as shown or according to style and personal preference. Mark 1/4 inch above the bust line to tighten the keyhole to prevent gaping. Measure and mark 3/4 inch in from the inner center back for eyelet placement. Again, this part totally depends on style and personal preference. The back eyelet placement can be done differently. Mark 2 inches below the waist on the side back and on the center back, after which you roll across. Also, the length of the corset is a matter of choice. Repeat the same on the side front. Mark 2 inches on the side front, and on the center front, you could go as low as 4 inches or 5 inches and roll the basque waistline. Go ahead and label the pattern center front, middle front, and side front. I also have side back, middle back, and center back. This is important, especially when you have tailors working under you or when someone else is also going to use the pattern. So this will be all for this tutorial. See you in my next tutorial. Bye for now.